Today we're taking a look at Solana's Sol coin, performing some technical analysis and making some predictions on where we can expect to see Sol go in the near future. Let's get into it. How's it going, guys? Ryan here and welcome back to another crypto video. We're once again taking a look at Sol coin today, and it is once again absolutely performing fantastically. So I'm very excited to check back in with this coin for all the holders out there and hopefully give you a bit of insight on where we can expect to see the price of Sol go in the very near future. But before we get into all that good stuff, guys, please remember to leave a thumbs up if you do enjoy today's video, and of course if you want to see more of this sort of content, hit subscribe and turn on those bell notifications. We cover crypto, stocks, investing and wealth management. I'd also love to know your thoughts on Solana and Sol coin down in the comments section below. But without any further ado, let's jump straight into today's analysis. Welcome into the Solana chart, guys. If you're looking to buy Solana or want some free Bitcoin, there are a couple of links in the description of today's video. But let's take a look at the performance of Sol coin. And as you can see, if you watch my previous video, this has played out exactly as we expected. The last time we checked in with Sol coin was right about here on the 22nd of October. And at that point in time, we hadn't even reached the high of that day. But you can see on that day, we reached a high of 215 US dollars. And then we kept climbing all the way a few days later on the 25th of October to a high of $218.92, and now we're currently sitting roughly at about 207 US dollars. So the performance of this coin has been absolutely phenomenal. And if you do recall as well, my target for the last video was hitting these all-time highs right here, $2.15. That occurred, they were tested, they were broken through, new highs were set. And as you can see, we have, I suppose, consolidated a bit, and instead what has happened, as you'd expect, is a nice little bounce has occurred. So if we just bring ourselves down to this level here, you can see plenty of, I suppose, price action sitting at this key point right here at $194, $195. And you can see those acting now as a nice little base for us. We did at one stage drop and dip quite sharply down below this point, but the following day sprung back up into action and got back above that key point of support. So that's really good. And the reason for this is really just the fact that we've hit, new all-time highs. So of course, what do you expect is going to happen? Anyone who is trading this coin is naturally going to jump out and exit and take their profits. That would you expect. And interestingly enough though, the volume wasn't gigantic, so it wasn't a massive dump that occurred, but obviously impacted the way the momentum for the coin was going. But now what we're seeing is basically a bit of a little upswing again. So we're seeing, in this sense, it's gone that way. Right now it looks like we're poised to go back and test this key point of resistance, 215, and potentially, I'd suggest more likely than not, test our highs that we saw on the 25th of October right here at $218. So looking very much forward to seeing this play out. Now something else that's quite interesting is you can almost probably see that a little bit of a flag pattern did try and form itself here, in the sense of, I'd actually probably suggest it's a flag like this, using this $215 mark as the top point of our flag. Whilst yes, everything's not hitting it exactly, you could take it down a notch, maybe even to this point here, chuck that in, 211, top end of our flag, and you can see that there is this type of a pattern coming into fruition right now. A nice little bit of a flag. It's obviously a bit of a rough thing, but as you can see from previous experience where flag patterns, they break, we're seeing the same continuation in the trend that we've seen previously from a candle perspective when looking at this chart. realistically, all we're looking at now is a bit of consolidation between our key points here at 195 and 215. And then what we're going to see is a test and hopefully a breakout to hit those new levels. So my target for this video, I'm not going to make it too crazy, just break through those all-time highs that were set the other day at $218. So really just aiming for that, smashing through it, setting brand new records. Based on this little run that we've seen, we can make a bit of a prediction potentially as to where we could be going in the near future. So as you can see, that is the size of the flag that we're seeing right here. Now, I like to basically take that flag, look for a key point where it looks like we've started our upswing again. I'm going to suggest our point of support that we are seeing right here. And let's see where our target would be for potentially the next little leg up. You're looking at $260, and I mean, even $250 in itself would be a good psychological level. And if you took it down probably to the point of the low that we saw over here, that's probably a bit more realistic. About $250 is where Solcoin is aiming for in its next potential run. But let's bring in a few more indicators to see exactly what is happening right now. So first and foremost, let's bring in, of course, our moving averages. We'll bring in our short-term moving average of 20 days. Then secondly, our medium-term moving average of 50 days. And we're going to make that one red so it stands out nice and obvious. And of course, it's always nice to just see the longer-term moving average of 200 days as well. So you can see that 200's not really in play here at the moment still, of course not. It's at $78.93. But our 50-day moving average and our 20-day moving average certainly are. The 20-day at 182 and the 50-day at 163. That 20-day moving average that is coming up right now will be acting as a critical point of support for us moving forward. We don't want to see the price action start to dip below that 20-day moving average. The only way I can see this occurring is potentially if we hit this key point at the top here that we have seen, $215, or even potentially our previous all-time high that we just saw a few days ago at $218. We bounce back and we retest our critical point of support at 195. But I really can't see it happening unless that sort of circumstance occurs, and the support levels will be strong in that sense. Plenty of price action consolidation happening around here. The buying action's strong, the sell-off occurred, and we're now moving back in an upwards direction. So overall, looking really, really good from that perspective. Let's bring in the MACD now as well. Bringing that one in, you can see, interestingly enough, we did start to see a slowdown, obviously, when the consolidation started to occur. But we are now picking back up, and it looks like a little bit of a new wave could be starting, and we might see some decent green days before it switches into red now. And you can obviously see that due to the fact that, you know, we've had a bit of an upswing here after the sell-off that you would expect. And I think what we're going to see is an extended green period similar to this, maybe not to that sort of scale, but we're going to see two nice little peaks occur within the near future, hopefully busting through and making new all-time highs once again. Obviously, as I said, aiming for that $218 mark first, and then potentially moving towards $250 next. Then let's bring in the RSI as well, looking at the strength of everything. Interestingly enough, we are still easily sitting right now in the safe zone at 64.55 points, and we only exceeded, you know, to a maximum of 74.13 in the overbought range. But due to the sell-off that occurred in the following 2 days due to hitting all-time highs, traders exiting, we have seen that, you know, drop straight back down to 56.74. But with the upswing, obviously the buying momentum is pushing the RSI up a bit higher, but we've still got plenty of room to move. As you can see in the past, Solana does not care if it extends into that range for extended periods of time. So overall, looking really, really positive from that perspective. One other key point to note is On the run up, we saw those big volumes, and on the sell off, we have seen decreasing volume. That is coiling, that is consolidation occurring. And that's in line with what's happening on the chart right here. So I really think we're in for a good chance to see a test within the next day or two of this $215 mark, the $218 mark, and then bust out and potentially start smashing for new all-time highs. Solana has been one of those cryptos which has been fantastically reliable from a charting perspective. You can see that all your textbook sort of patterns are occurring, and it is now primed to run off the back of literally just itself, as well as if the crypto market breaks out again for its next little leg of this bull run, it is primed to move as well from that perspective. So everything is pointing towards positivity, and I'm very sad that I'm not a holder of Solcoin. I really wish I did get in it because its performance has been absolutely stellar for the past year or so. So congratulations to all the holders of the coin. I love to see you guys winning in crypto space, in the stock space, all that great stuff. But I'm going to wrap it up for there today, guys. I hope you did enjoy today's video. Remember to leave a thumbs up and subscribe and turn on those bell notifications if you want to see more of this sort of content. We cover crypto, stocks, investing, and wealth management. But I'll leave it there for today, guys. Hope you have an awesome day. I'll see you next time. Cheers.